Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I am here at Iron University with the lovely Lauralie Chapados. How do you say your surname? I'm going to say it incorrectly.
Chapados.
Chapados.
Yeah. Chapados, yeah.
We're going to be going through a workout today. I don't know what we're doing. I think you should probably tell the folks what it is that we're doing.
I mean, we both, compete and have different goals, and, we're trying to build for a bikini category. So 50% of the time is going to be either shoulders or, lower body. So today we're doing chest. I'm kidding.
I was like, what, really?
Kidding. No, we're going to do some hamstrings today, a little bit more hamstring focused. We had a glute workout together that was, that was awesome. So we're going to do some hamstring focus, a little bit of glutes, but mostly hamstrings.
Awesome. So this gym has so much fantastic equipment, and equipment that you will not see anywhere else. We're going to go and show you several different pieces of equipment that I know you're going to love. Give you a tour of the gym. In fact, Aldo has just walked in, so that's your partner. He is here in the gym here.
Yes, he's the owner
of this gym. So he can probably take us through and show you all of the things. But I'm really excited. Let's jump into this.
Yes, let's do this. Let's do this. We're going to have some good tips and tricks from us and also from Aldo. That's going to run us through my workout, through our workout. So let's go.
All right, let's do it. This is probably the first flashing neon set of glutes that I've seen before. How cool is that? You just turn the lights off, but here you've got like two mirrors and you can actually look back. So come over here, come and see this. So if you look up into this mirror here, you can actually see your back pose. So you can see. But no, it's super, super helpful because you want to be able to like see your shoulders, et cetera, et cetera. So we've done a tour, getting stuck into it. So starting off with hamstrings. Obviously this was a hamstring focused exercise or program today for Lauralie. Any particular reason why we're starting with this machine, or it's just your favorite? What's your method?
I don't know. I really go by feel, I guess.
Yeah.
I just love a good lying curl. Yeah, we're probably going to do it in superset with seated hamstring curls.
Yeah.
I do feel that it targets a little bit of different parts of the hamstring.
Yeah.
Like I can develop more of the lower part of the hamstring on the
so you're looking like distal versus the proximal part of your hammy?
Yes, and then the seated, I can just isolate more of that, glute ham tie-in and create that situation.
So how many sets per week do you think you're probably doing on your hamstrings right now? If you know. Sets, yeah.
Probably between 6 and 8.
6 and 8 sets a week?
Maybe 6 to 10, on average, maybe during the week.
All right, cool.
Depending on how sore I am, depending on, what we're trying to do, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
If I had to put in the science.
So you can see Lauralie, I've trained with her once before, and she does a lot of tempo training. So either slow eccentrics, slow concentrics, really controlling that movement. Last time I chat with her, she was mentioning like she gets a really good mind-muscle connection just by modifying that tempo. And I totally agree with that. I think it's one of many ways that you can really focus and isolate specific muscles.
What I've been doing with her and all my clients is just rotate their tissue, and then in the end, it's rotating their femur into a position where this gets reduced and then more hamstrings being involved, and then they get stronger because now it's more hamstrings.
Yeah, that was challenging. Yeah, it was good. All right, Lauralie, you're up.
Yes, babe, like a 10 on the...
Yeah, that's a high rep range. Obviously, it's going to challenge you cardiovascularly, but yeah, again, we know that we can do lower rep ranges, we can do higher rep ranges. One isn't necessarily more effective than another, but you can have your preferences. You've got to enjoy training. You've got to be motivated to get into the gym. fries.
Oh, they didn't see it yet.
No, they haven't seen it yet. We talked about it off camera.
That's where it's coming from.
This is what we get motivated by to train.
Let's see what you got with your fries.
Let's see what the fries bring us. The carbohydrate. We could do a lot of damage here.
Come on, Holly, stay in it.
Hard, all the way up, all the way up. Hold it, visualize the muscle work. Visualize, and slowly take that.
Welcome to Iron University.
They did. This one moved around like on those last 4 reps.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But throughout the set, they helped out?
They did, yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so a couple of really cool things about what we just did here. First and foremost, we had these wedges positioned in here, which I have a really lordotic spine, so a big S curve. So I've got quite a big duck butt. So that actually just allows me to kind of bring my hips back under a little bit more, and it helps remove the load from my lower back. Now I could still feel that in my last set. I was really fatigued, but it definitely helped. So we had the seatbelt strapped around my upper body to keep me in position so that you don't wiggle around like a worm. That just allows you to better load your hamstrings. And then the last thing that you would have seen me doing, first off, we did drop sets and forced reps. So they're 2 different types of training intensity techniques that allow you basically to get to failure. This isn't necessarily a better way than taking a normal set to failure if you load correctly. But so many people really struggle to know where their limits are, right? So I definitely found just by kind of doing those drop sets, pulling away, stripping away that weight, I was able to squeeze out a little bit more than I thought I had. And then you can see Aldo kind of resisting and pressing down on the backs of my ankles. So I'm in a lengthened position, applying force. That is really damaging for your muscle, not in a bad way, it's just really hard. So I know I'm going to be super sore from that tomorrow because I don't normally train in a lengthened position under like a heavy load. So I felt every strip of motor unit in my muscles working to kind of get me to failure there. So it's super fun. Like I said, it's important to, you know, have enjoyment from your training and do things that are novel and motivating so that you can last in this sport. So we've obviously both been training for a really long time. So it's kind of fun just to do these things every now and then. Like I haven't done something like that in forever because I don't have a training partner to work with. So maybe we'll start training more, who knows. But that was a very effective way of getting to failure, which is what you need to signal muscle growth. This next exercise that we're doing is an RDL, but this is not a traditional RDL, if you know what I mean. So you can see Lauralie's got a seatbelt strapped around her ankles, and she's also got, I guess, some support and padding. This is like one of the RDL benches that you can use just to do regular RDLs, but we're using it for support. So what this is doing, and I had to jump in and do this exercise first just to see how it actually felt different, like what was the advantage of doing it this way. And it is helping to isolate my glutes, so my hamstrings more. When we don't have that strap or something kind of supporting us in place, we have to use our glutes, we have to kind of contract other muscles to stay in that path, that bar path. This allows you to almost let your body fall forwards a little bit more. Like I can relax my glutes And again, that allows me to isolate my hamstrings. So now when I'm coming up, it's just my hammies. I'm not having to squeeze my glutes to kind of stay in place because the belt is letting me be there. So I really like it. How do you like this?
So I love it because I'm all about, I understand we need to be efficient.
Yeah.
But also we know we need to be intentional with our movements.
Yeah.
You know, I can't really throw spaghettis on the wall now because it's little intricacies, right? So when I go in there, I know I'm going to do exactly and work the muscle exactly where I want it to be. As you may know, like isolating a muscle 100% is absolutely impossible, but you can get really, really close to that. And that's where the setup is very important.
And you were just saying before, you can't necessarily do that with every machine. Just because there's a machine in a gym and, you know, it's in LA Fitness or it's in a Crunch, it doesn't mean that it's a good machine that's going to directly target that muscle.
Correct.
So that's why you guys play around so much with movements to make it fit what you need it to do. Exactly. I love that.
I mean, I love working out with you because obviously we're the same height. So it's always like the setting up is really easy, but she's, you know, she's way stronger. But when we're put into kind of like a vulnerable place where like we're really exposed with our weaknesses, you see like even you're struggling with a weight that you would normally go and be like, let's do RDL. Like I can load that bar, you know, way more heavier. So there's really different way to train. There's different ways to like target the muscle. So
yeah, I love it. It's been fun.
I love that you love it because I feel like it's not for everybody. If you have an ego, it's really difficult to like leave it out the door. But that's why the environment and like having someone that you know enjoys training, it becomes so important. You know. Yeah.
Just last week, I was exploring, I guess, how to train in a hotel gym environment because you know so many of us travel and you don't always have access to like good equipment. So I just had fun, even though the equipment sucked so bad. I was enjoying getting there and like putting all these contraptions together to like get you into a good position and allow like full range of motion so that you can like correctly isolate the muscle that you want. So yeah, I love this. I think it's really cool that you guys are so exploratory in making the machines or the movement work for your mechanics. So it's very cool. Alrighty, okay, so next exercise, we're supersetting this abduction, so ABD, which is taking your knees out or abducting. We're setting that up also with a hyperextension. So 2 more glute exercises, obviously hitting the glute medius and minimus for this exercise, and then the glute maximus, another hinge exercise set up back here, which I'll show you in a second. But this is like taking this exercise to a whole new extreme. So first off, you'll see there's no seat. We've literally pulled this apart. I guess that's allowing us a couple of things. I still put on this little squidgy mini, my yoga mat. It's always come in handy. But we've actually set up, if you want to come a little bit closer just so I can show you here, we've got a couple of bands. These are going to go around. So that's just one single band. I don't know the exact tension for this one, but it's not really heavily. It's the same band that I'd use for like a band at RDL if I wanted to hit my glutes. It's that one. But anyway, these go around your knees. And that kind of keeps your pelvis in position. So it keeps you in the seat. I've also done this exercise using an actual seat belt. You would have seen me and my girlfriend Shelly out in Texas a few weeks ago. We were just experimenting with different ways to hit our glutes. And we had a band wrapped around our bodies and we were pulling each other back. This effectively does the same thing, so you don't need a partner, just by putting these straps around your kneecaps. And then something else that I have found to kind of help hit the middle part of your glute a little bit more is pushing through your toes. So I set my feet up on the top rung here. I'm not using the bottom one at all. I'm bringing my feet back in a little bit closer to my body and I'm pressing through my toes. Next level, you'll notice we've also got a band looped around our bodies, kind of keeping us in place. So you're kind of having to push and pull at the same time. This just feels magical. I can't, maybe when I'm doing the exercise, I'll be able to explain it a little better. You just saw me do the set. But it's hitting the muscle differently. And again, the research at the moment isn't super clear. You know, we don't know whether training in long muscle lengths or training at the shortened muscle length position actually favors like the distal or the proximal portion of a muscle. It's just not clear. So while science figures that out, and that's one of the studies that we're actually going to be carrying out here in the next few weeks at the University of South why not explore? Why not experiment? As long as we're taking that exercise to failure, there's no real downside of playing around if you've got the time. I normally don't, so it's actually been so nice to come in and train with Lauralie because that's all she's doing. That's literally, they're here exploring, playing around with equipment, they're building their own equipment. It's awesome. So I really love this version of an abduction. So what is this doing? I'm sure I'll feel it eventually, but you can tell me.
To stabilize the pelvis.
Okay.
So then this shoots the femur into the hip.
Let's get that even.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like, you know, those like puppets. I'm strapped in. Good. Okay. So the next exercise, like I mentioned before, is a hyperextension. Now you can do this exercise a couple of different ways to either isolate your glutes a little bit more, you can do it to isolate more hamstring. You can also do this to target your lower back. So again, a couple of tweaks to your chin position, whether or not you round your spine or you keep it straight, or toe positioning, whether you face neutral, toes out, and then also pressing toes in to the bench can drastically change where this exercise focuses. So I haven't actually seen Lauralie do her set yet, so I don't know whether she's doing this with a glute focus or a hamstring focus. So I'm just gonna do it the way that I like to do it. So I'm gonna climb in, and show you. So if I was trying to really isolate my glutes, I would be turning my toes out, and I would be rounding my spine. And when I finish, I would be coming up and I'd be like squeezing the top of my glute here. So you can see I can be in a lengthen. That's not really doing a whole lot for my glutes, but if I tuck and I think about turning my pelvis under, that is like maddeningly glute max. So for this exercise today, I think Lauralie is focusing a little bit more on her hamstrings. So we've got slightly more neutral facing toes. So I'm keeping my feet flat. They might even be slightly, ever so slightly turned in. And she's pushing up and pushing into the pads behind her. So I'm pressing through with my toes here. Coming up, looking in front of you. And it's quite an explosive movement. All right, I'm gonna scratch everything that I just said. Here we go, I'm trying to do what she's doing and not actually knowing what she's doing. Okay, so tempo. That goes perfectly with everything else that Lauralie's done today. It's all slow, very controlled, really thinking about getting that mind-muscle connection. All right, so I was gonna do explosive. That's one way that you can do it. So she's going nice and slow, looking forwards, coming right up, and then coming down. And that was not 6 seconds.
Put your arms up, right there. Press with your toes. Press up with your toes and then back up, chin up. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, good. All right, I was almost doing
here.
So you're letting your arms kind of come back up.
Yeah, and then even press with your toes.
Yeah.
And bring your glutes like up and then.
Yeah, I feel that.
Your knees against the pad, like you're trying to bring your knees underneath the pad.
Yep.
Up, 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 up. And this, like, you can, yeah, just follow your spine. Just follow your spine. Good. Up, 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 chin up. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Keep on pressing with your toes.
Yep.
At every single part, press. That's one.
So it turns out she's really doing this exclusively for hamstrings, and she's using time under tension, tempo training. So she's bringing her chin all the way up, looking forwards, nice neutral spine. She's allowing herself to come all the way down, and you can see she's like letting her hands almost come back behind her. Honestly, just that little bit of a movement, that lengthens your hamstrings, believe it or not. So that's why she's doing that. She's getting more range of motion and really allowing that to kind of tap into her hemis. And then she's pressing through her toes on the way up. You would have seen the first couple of reps that I tried to do this, I was kind of using momentum to come up. She's not doing that. So that's really making the exercise more difficult. So I struggled on those last couple of reps that I did because I was already fatigued, but you know, trying to avoid swinging, try to avoid momentum, that's really going to allow you to focus on the heavies. So beautiful reps, love it. The last exercise that we're going to do today is a seated hamstring curl. Now, I don't know which of the machines Lauralie wants to use. She's got her favorite, so she can tell us about which one we're going to use here. But both of us really like this exercise, probably a little more than maybe the prone hamstring curl. For me personally, the reason for that is it keeps me in a lengthened position. I have really flexible hamstrings. So most of the machines really allow me to kind of get my leg up where it needs to be to achieve full range of motion. That's why we're going to do the seated curl to finish with. But I also wanted to throw in a bit of blood flow restriction because Lauralie hasn't done this before. I was just explaining to her earlier how it works. So if you are new to my channel and you aren't familiar with blood flow restriction technique, it's not necessarily something that is a superior method to training. It's one of many tools in the toolbox. So similar to the way that we did forced reps before, we've done drop sets throughout today's workout. We've done isometric time under tension after some of the movements. They're all a really good way to take your muscle to failure. So how this particular, I guess, approach works is we're going to take these cuffs or these bands, secure it to the proximal part of your limb. You don't do the distal part, we're securing up nice and high. And it's basically going to trap the metabolites inside your muscle. So thinking about inorganic phosphate ions, hydrogen ions, all of these things are kind of building up, and that is potentially one of the mechanisms for how we can grow muscle. So it's really uncomfortable. It's going to hurt a lot, and I'm very interested to see how Lauralie likes this. But it's just another fun way to keep training exciting and get some really good growth. And if you are injured, this is where this comes into play. If you can't lift with a heavy load, you can use really light loads. But if you pop a blood flow restriction band on, oh my God, it takes the exercise from A to Z very quickly. So I'm actually going to have Lauralie come in here. She's going to die.
Why are you going to kill me? She's like, she's going to, oh, my mic.
Lauralie has given her consent. She doesn't know what she's in for yet. So basically we're going to put the cuffs around the top part of your leg. So I'll get you to at least secure it first, and then I can tighten it up. So this part goes on the inside of your leg.
It's all the way.
And you're going to wrap it around the top.
Around here?
Yep. Flip it over so that you've got the bands. Hang on.
Here.
Yeah. So cool. It's pretty snug.
Yeah, they feel the same.
Feel equal tension?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you're going to jump. You're going to jump in.
Shit.
So
he's excited. He's like,
we want to pick a load that is probably, you think what, 50% of what you might normally do for a set of 15?
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You want to shoot for 30 reps on your first set.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever weight you think you're going to be able to perform 30 reps for. Okay. That's why I say 50% of like a normal set of 12 is probably good.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks good. That's probably where I'd start. So first set, we're going to do 30 repetitions. So let's jump in, and then we will rest for 30 seconds. And then we're going to do that 3 more times, but we're going to go to about 15 reps for the subsequent set 2, set 3, and set 4.
Nice. I bet you would love that.
Oh, good. Good.
Wow.
Nice.
I love that.
What did it feel like? Did you like it?
I loved it. I loved it because it's so, and now I really feel it. And it's a very healthy pump. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
It's equal on both sides. I don't feel like, my calves took over, or, the thing is, you do want to get heavy a little bit with the hamstring. And if you don't have a spot, I think that's a good solution for someone that doesn't have, you know, a spotter for them to help them, you know, those last. And I was able to go full range of motion, which I absolutely love, and get a stretch. And
you were also saying that you didn't feel it because you could go light. You didn't feel it behind your knee.
Behind my knee,
just in the hamstrings.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Love it.
That's
Thank
good.
you. That's
You're
cool.
welcome. Alrighty, guys. Well, I hope that you enjoyed today's workout. I know I've had a lot of fun learning just some new techniques, using new machinery. It has been awesome, and I truly hope that I get more opportunities to come and train in this gym because she is so close. And now I've been here 2 times. I don't really have any excuses. So if you've got questions about anything that we did today, whether it's the equipment, the names, the brands, the costs, or anything at all, please leave us a comment. We would be more than happy to get back to you. Don't forget to subscribe to my training app, BIAFit. You can access it on Android and iOS. And I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. We'll see you next time. Bye.